Hello, I'm Bill Cope, and in 3 short videos I want to talk about some of the ways in which we've been translating the multiliteracies work into practice. We've been building a web writing environment called Scholar, and in the first video I'm going to speak about the ways in which we've built a multimodal writing space and how it's different from traditional writing spaces in some interesting ways. In the second video I'm going to talk about the social aspects of this environment. There's a lot of interaction going on around the work that participants are doing. And in the third video, I'm going to talk about some pedagogical consequences and some practical pedagogical innovations that we're attempting in this space. Here we are now about to log into Scholar. And when I do log in, the first page I land on is in an app called Community. And this happens to be my personal profile page. And here I belong to a number of communities which happen to be my classes. I have a number of peers, not friends and followers. We're deliberately using that different metaphor for this space. And I have an activity stream here, which is everything that's happening in my world, my various communities, amongst my peers and so on. And like Facebook and Twitter, it's kind of an infinite scroll through this activity stream. Now, what I want to do mostly in this short video is speak about the creator space, which is a multimodal writing space. But just briefly, I'll mention the other spaces. Publisher is a space where people in the role of publisher can coordinate people through the writing process, which involves a lot of collaboration. And Dashboard is an area which provides a lot of analytics about writing. And Bookstore is an area where we, if you like, design activity sequences that happen in the other spaces around particular curriculum areas. Now, to go now into the creator space, here we have on the left what we call a multimodal or semantic editor, a multimodal writing space. And as I go across this space, see here that there, global weather, well, that's actually not an, it looks like italics, but it's actually an emphasis. And see here this thing which looks like it's indented. Well, of course it is indented, but it's actually a block quote. And why is a semantic editor necessary? Well, when we go to parse this text for academic language level, for example, which we can and we do, or plagiarism, we know that this text is not, the student has indicated that that particular paragraph is not their own writing. The other aspects of this editor are direct links into the web. This is deeply interlinked text in a whole lot of ways. Images that can be inserted in line, audio that can be inserted in line, but also any, and video in line, but also any other file. So if I'm an architect, I can put in a walkthrough of my building. If I'm a computer science person, I can put in a stretch of code. There are a whole lot of things that I can put in here which are media objects which become integrally part of the writing process itself. Now, what we also have in this space is we have this structure tool. We don't want pages and we don't want infinite scrolling of things. So down here, this is a way in which I order the hierarchy of my thinking, the way in which I build if you like, a writing architecture, an information architecture, a textual architecture. So if I change my mind and I want to move that up to there, and then I think, oh, look, I'll move this here, but no, actually, that's a third order heading there, and I pull it over like so. And at any one point, what I can do is, one of the advantages of a multimodal editor like this is that I can go up here and I can either output it as a beautifully laid out PDF, or I can view it in the browser as a web page, which it produces on the fly that quickly out of this marked up text. So you can see here this has been indented. There is the image in there, and this is just a partly written mock-up text that I use. But at any one point, I can produce that output. Now, the other aspect that I want to show you of this space is that this is a space where there are no documents, there are no files. What it is just a big database which we've got all this marked up stuff which we can pull it out again in different formats at different times for different purposes. And amongst the works that I've got, I not only have my own works where I'm a creator, and but also other people's works where I'm giving them feedback, and if I'm coordinating the process of publisher works, which I can see as well. Now, I don't put these works away in folders. They're, documents and folders. They're all 19th century office metaphors. I can actually just simply filter by tag. I tag my works, and that means they can go in multiple places, and I can resort them according to multiple logics. A lot of the constraints in those 19th century office metaphors go away. Now, what I want to do lastly is just show you an example of one of my students' works at a higher ed level. This is one of my Master of Education students. This is her kind of LinkedIn page. We're back in community now, by the way, and a number of her works have been published over here. So these are her publications. She can, if she wants to, make this profile public if she's going for a job. This is her works, her profile, her world. Now, if I go into view her works now, you can see that she's produced a number of these. This is the icon for a scholar work, as opposed to a PDF file or a Word document. It's none of those things. And I'll go into this one here on metacognition just to show you what one of these 21st century multimodal web writing artifacts look like. So here we've got her metacognition piece, and it's full of diagrams. One of the things I find is that I end up with submissions which are better than ever, but full of visuals, full of images, full of media objects. And of course, that's a live link into Bloom's taxonomy. She doesn't have to describe it because click, that's, in a way, it's integrally part of the work, in the way it's not always the case with a document or a PDF or some such thing. Full of visuals. And what she can do is she can actually embed a little video where she demonstrates in her class the point that she's making.
Today I'm going to be modeling my thinking for you, okay? I'm going to be modeling your thinking. I see Dakota's face. She said, how are you going to model your thinking? Okay? Well, over the last few days, some of you have noticed